Owing to the critical role banks play in the economy, banking is the most regulated industry. However, this has not stemmed bank-related malpractices.
And banks need to show an active willingness to practice and value integrity.
Because oftentimes the private sector acts as an accessory to ethical practices within within public sector.
This state of affairs has compromised service delivery within the industry. According to the Kenya Cybersecurity Report, there's a sharp rise in financial fraud with banks through mobile money, system tampering and mobile network exploitation. Lack of links between the front office and back office procedures have created a loophole for fraudsters to prey on unsuspecting clients.
The staff and the organisation to change, to move away to ensure that every stakeholder is looked after and not just one particular stakeholder, which used to be the shareholder. So we are seeing a reappraisal actually about what banks are for, and as long as that is the initiative that is coming from the top, then I think the future is rosy.
Banks are being challenged to offer full disclosure on loans to boost client confidence, especially after MPs on Tuesday voted to repeal the interest rate cap.
Or having one blanket, you realize if I am the lender, I will only look at who should I give. If I'm looking at two people, I can only choose one to give, because the one I feel I can is not the risk is low. And that's why now the repeal comes into place, so that actually we can accommodate and be able, this credit be able to be actually given to the SMEs that we intended to give this. But since the repeal, the SMEs have been suffering.
Going forward, experts foresee an increase in the uptake of credit from virtual platforms buoyed by convenience and privacy, according to the data.
The banks generally are suffering from a crisis of confidence. People don't like banks, they don't trust them, and that's why we see the growth of the fintech companies. And we see also the reduction in the high street of actual physical branches. People like to do it remotely because they are concerned. Now, interestingly, if you ask people whether they like banks generally, the answer is very low.
As eyes remain trained on President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is set to assent to the finance bill that has repealed the interest rate cap, banks maintain that during its regime, the interest cap so limited their scope in terms of lending. That's why the private sector, especially the SMEs, suffered. Now, this comes at a time when experts deem that this might not go well in building trust between Wanjico and the banks that is already deteriorating and has buoyed the steady growth of fintechs, with Kenyans preferring to use virtual credit lending platforms than visiting their banks. Regina Manyara Gitao reporting for Channel 1 Business.